my word. You know how I like a little fanfare, how I like party poppers and confetti and sparkle and all of that stuff. We have got an amazing launch of these fabulous markers coming up for you this week. So the marker is a double-ended alcohol marker. And what you've got here is this beautiful barrel, which is very ergonomic. We've designed the shape. I'm just going to turn that so you can see the shape there. It's extremely ergonomic, so comfortable in the hand. A lovely smooth matte surface so you can hold it. You can see here that it tells you it's your Illustrator marker. And you can see you've got a brush nib and a super fine bullet nib to get into all of the tiny details that you might need to get into when you're doing alcohol marker colouring. Your colour is on the end, so you can see this is amethyst. You may or may not be able to see, I'm coming up to see you. Can you, there we are. You can see that's amethyst and it's LV3. So it also follows our spectrum colour system, which we'll talk about again in a few seconds. I'll talk to you about that. Now, if I just take the caps off, so I'm just going to take them off here quickly so I can show you the two ends of our marker. So you can see that you've got this fantastic brush nib. If I just put my hand beside it, you can see it there. I'm going to show you how exceptional that is in a second and why you need a fabulous brush nib in your colouring. And then on this side, you've got a super fine bullet tip. So that's a lot finer than our regular bullet tips and our markers. So you can get into tiny little detail or do your little accents and highlights that you need using your alcohol marker, but not have too broad or deep of a stroke. So that is what you get on both sides. And you can see really useful that you've got the iconography on there to show you if you're not sure which side of the marker to use. If you're not sure which side, you can see this side's brush nib, this side's bullet tip. So you're not on and off with the lids all the time. Now, why do you need a brush tip in your life? Well, let me just tell you why. You need a brush tip in your life so you can do beautiful, soft flicks with your colouring. And this is where you're going on a journey with your markers. You've been doing a little bit of alcohol colouring. Now we want to get all of the beautiful soft flicked results that you see people getting all over social media. What do I mean by a flicked result? Well, let me show you. So this is the brush tip, and what I'm able to do is just flick that up and get that lovely, I'll just pick it up and show you, get that lovely soft differentiation between the thick and the thin. And depending on how, you'll see how I angle my marker, I can get tiny little flicks, or I can get beautiful big broad flicks. And that's just by angling my pen in a different way. Now, our camera operator here is the best in the business, because what you can see here, when this flick tapers up to the top, you don't get any feathering, you don't get any splitting of any fibres. It goes from a thick stroke all the way up to a beautiful tiny tip. That's the quality of the brush nib that we have got in here. This is a I always forget the word. It's not polycarbonate because that's plastic. It's I'll find out what it is. I'll remember. It'll come back to me. I'm having one of those senior moments again. But it is it's got some plastic in there, but it's incredibly soft. And I just want to show you, while we're there looking at it, I just want to show you how beautifully soft that is. You can see the bend I get on there, and then the little mark that you've got behind. But when I've bent it, look, no change. It just springs back into shape, which allows you to get this beautiful flicked result from a broad stroke to a tiny little thin stroke, depending on how you angle your brush nib. So that's what you're going to be able to do with those. Truly fantastic. You're going to see why you're not going to just be doing lines when you get your pens home, of course. You're going to see why that's important when we actually start to colour some stuff. And then finally, just with the little super fine tip, I just want to show you how lovely and fine that is. It's a tiny little fine nib. You can see that there. Look how fine that is. Absolutely glorious. So you're going to be able to get into all of the tiny little detail. So they're the two nibs that you have got. So I've got LG3, LG1, LG2 and LG4 here. Now then, look. So this is your colour family, and this is what you're used to doing with your Spectrum pens, how you're working with LG 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that's light green, level 1, 2, 3 and 4. Why is that important? Well, let me show you with our brush nib here. So if we just put some of our light green 1 down, you'll see that colour, and it's a beautiful, beautiful pastel. and I can get gorgeous, soft lay down of colour with my beautiful brush nib you can see there. So there's LG1, then we're going to go to LG2, and this is really important for you to see. I'm so excited that I can show you this because this is the whole ethos of the Spectrum colour system. I'm putting the same amount of ink down for each one. Then I'm going to go to LG3, put the same amount of ink down in that little swatch, and then I'm going to go to LG4, same amount down with this little swatch. And what you'll be able to see when we look at this is how you've got that gradation of colour from LG 1, 2, 3 and 4. And that's why, and you'll see when I colour something in and show you, it's really important that you have all of the different colours to get that light to dark tone and movement for your 3D colouring. So the system is included with this collection, which is fantastic. And then of course you've just got the colours if you don't want to work with the system. If you're an accomplished alcohol marker colourist, you don't need to follow that system if you don't want to. You just use the markers as you want to use the markers. Right, you want to see the colours. You want to see the colours. And then once we've looked at the colours we can look at what they do. So here we can see these are the different packs of colours that our Fiona is going to be bringing to you. So you've got a pack of beautiful hues there. And you can see you've got your cocktail pink, your amber, your gold, your pear green, your carabine and your amethyst. Remember, because I'm just going to bring this one in and show you with your amethyst. Amethyst is also LV3. So if you're used to using the older system from our, well, it's not even old, it's still current, but if you're used to using the number value system from our Spectrum Noir colouring system, these pens match in, and you can see where they match in with some of the pens that you might have at home. So you've got your hues, you've got your basics, which is your primary colours. We're going to put these together so I can tell you why they've been put together in this way. It's fantastic. So you can see you've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue and purple. So you've got some lovely basics in there, which are more primary. And then I'm just looking for my next set. Here we are is my tones. My beautiful tone collection. Look at those. Absolutely gorgeous, are they not? Where you've got more vintage tones of colour there. You can see all of those. Can you see that one underneath? Yeah. I'm just pushing it up so you can see them all. There you go, lovely. So you've got those, all of that smoky blue, old china, all the way down to your vintage pinks in there. You've also got your tints, which I'm just going to swap those two over because I want to show you that. You've got your tints and then your tones. So I'm just going to see, look, I'm getting all my colour theory in place for you now, guys. So I'm doing a little colour theory lesson at the same time. So these 4 packs that our Fiona is bringing to you are going to form the basis to put all of the rest of the colours that I'm going to show you together. So you've got your basics, which are your primary, which are fantastic, and they're your true pops of colour. And then you've got your hues, which are a kind of desaturated version of those. So you see you've got your pop, can you see here the difference between the two, nectarine and amber. So it's in the same colour range, but it's not as intense, more muted. You can see that all the way down. Your tints are a more pastel version of this. And your tones, not in the same order, but if I hold this one down here, look, you can see those purples running along there, a more vintage colour because they've had grey or black added to the purples that we've got down here. And if you look at your smoky blues and greens, you can see how that applies across there as well. So you've got your beautiful primaries, you've got your desaturated, you've got your tint, and you've got your tone in those beautiful colour collections. Additionally, you've got your essentials, which gives you all of your greys that you need for light and shade, and your blender. You've got your neutrals, which are also important. Do not underestimate this set. This is the set that I use the most because it gives all of the shade to all of the other colours. And then you've got your earth tones, which does as it says on the tin. So you've got everything you need for your mossy greens, your browns, your sea greens, etc., etc. So your earth tones are in there. And then you've got portrait and figure, which are the colours you need for skin. And so you've got all of those collections there, and there's a room for all of those colours. Here we go. These are the ones I want to show you. Mr. Grumpy Cat. Now, isn't Mr. Grumpy Cat truly amazing? He is gorgeous, isn't he? That is definitely a Monday cat. He had to go to work today and he really didn't want to. Mr. Fluffy there. The reason he looks so textured and so gorgeous is because of that beautiful brush nib, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Then look at the flesh tones on here. That's what you're going to be able to achieve with the hair and the flesh, and I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly as well. Then look at him. the depth, the dimension, that beautiful colouring that you've got in there. He just looks gorgeous, beautiful, looks like it's been printed, coloured with alcohol markers. Again with this rose, you've got some grey in there, which is really lifting that yellow, which is why I was saying don't be afraid of the greys. Then look at the shine on her hair. The brush nib allows you to achieve that beautiful shine on her hair by using that little flicky action that I was showing you earlier. Look at that cape, the shine on the cape. That's the colour system where you've got several markers in the same family. That allows you to get the light to the dark and get that movement on that cape so it actually looks like velvet. You can do monochromatic flicks if you want to and just go really broad strokes as you've seen me do to get movement in her dress. Looks gorgeous. So look at the beautiful flicks on this little bunny rabbit here. This is using that fabulous brush tip that comes on our Illustrator markers. Look at this no line colouring. That looks exceptional, makes you look like an artist. Just stamp it in a lovely light grey, colour it in with the flicks. Look at the skin tones here, the texture in this little deer. Look at the amazing light and shine in the coat there and the shine on that little teapot. That is what you're going to be able to achieve with our Illustrator markers, and you're going to be able to achieve it really easily.